Good evening and welcome to Elon Local News. I'm Carly Hilliard.
And I'm Meredith Stutz.
The Elon Law School has a new dean. Today, President Lambert announced Professor Luke Bierman to replace Dean George Johnson, who served for 5 years. Bierman currently works as a dean and law professor at Northeastern University School of Law in Boston. Bierman said a big part of his plan is encouraging more student engagement.
To help students, it's a shame to waste any moment of those 3 years. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to take full advantage of that time and accelerate that professional development and professional maturation.
Some students think of winter term as a breeze, but others are struggling to get through the month. Our Courtney Davis joins us to explain why. Courtney?
Winter term gives students the chance to take some unusual courses, but some students at Elon feel that only having 3 weeks can be a problem. Interesting classes. Some students study abroad or take classes like films of Woody Allen, but a few students at Elon complete the real winter term challenge.
I don't actually cut any information or content out of the course.
This is the syllabus for the Com 100 class that Associate Professor Julie Lellis teaches. While the content is the same, the class experience might not be. Senior Michael Hart took financial accounting during winter term of his freshman year to get ahead.
It was just so much information kind of crammed into a single day that was so hard to process.
But taking a winter term class to get ahead may not be the smartest choice. In a normal semester, an average Elon student will take 16 credit hours. Each class meets at least twice a week, meaning the average student will spend between 13 to 14 hours in class. But in winter term, a student takes one 4-credit class, which meets 5 times a week for 3 hours, meaning 15 hours of class a week. In a normal semester, students have almost 2 days to process all of the information that they learned. But in winter term, students have less than 24 hours to process what could be double the amount of work.
There are just certain required classes that we need to offer in winter term so that we can get all students started with the major.
Hart did this to himself when he chose to take his accounting class freshman year. But looking back, he wishes he had been more prepared.
Elon should do a better job of recognizing which ones of those one classes are too hard, or I just wish someone had even told me.
Sometimes schedules demand that a hard class be taken in winter term, but good news, you're already 1/3 of your way through the course. Courtney Davis, Elon Local News.
While some students are just getting back to campus, others are thousands of miles away. More than 900 students are studying abroad this winter term. 4 new programs were introduced this year in Brazil, France, Guatemala, and Ghana, in addition to the new Study USA programs in Arizona and Mexico. Travels were rough this year due to unusually cold temperatures, causing thousands of flights to be canceled just as students were preparing to leave. And this week welcomes the first-year Elon students who are just getting to campus. Our Mary Kate Brogan has the story.
Most freshmen spend the first day of school moving in and getting settled. But this year, 15 Elon students spent their first day of college in Wyoming with Elon's Gap Semester program.
I think throwing anybody into the wilderness.
Am I on campus?
You don't have a choice other than become like family.
Lizzie, Thomson, and Michaela Contois are Gap Semester students who took part in the second year of the program this fall. They became friends while mountain climbing when Lizzie knocked Michaela's teeth out.
She was hiking behind me and she fell and knocked my feet out from under me, and I went face first flat into the rock and I got my teeth knocked out.
Contois and Thomson are unpacking this week, unpacking their luggage and their experiences.
I think we have it a little bit easier because we are rooming together, so we're both going through it together.
The Gap Semester program takes Elon students from the National Outdoor Leadership School in Wyoming, across the country to Washington, D.C., and finally on a study abroad trip to Costa Rica.
Learn about the culture actually in the place. So it's very different.
The two hope to see Elon's program expand to include students who didn't have a chance to go as freshmen.
So I think all of us are moved in one way or another to share the voices of the people that we've heard.
Mary Kate Brogan, Elon Local News.
The Office of New Student and Transition Programs may be expanding the Gap Semester program in the coming years for students who haven't been able to participate in the past.
The student-run Burst the Bubble courses are starting on the right foot, and sometimes even the left. Two popular classes are Irish dancing and break dancing. Students leave the classroom behind as they jump and tap their way into new cultures and ideas. Burst the Bubble classes are offered only during winter term and meet once or twice a week. Teacher Claire Morrow says that there are many benefits to joining a Burst the Bubble course.
I hope that they gain a new appreciation for dance in general, and then they also learn a little bit about Latin American culture, because to me Latin America means a lot, and I think it's really great for more people to learn about it and to find out something that they find interesting and fun about it.
It may only be January, but if you're an Elon student, there's a housing email in your inbox. Students can decide after freshman year to live on or off campus. So I looked into which apartments are the best bang for your buck and some of the difficulties in choosing where to live as an Elon upperclassman. Sophomore Claire Marr is no stranger to housing drama. She wants to live in Mill Point or the Oaks next year, but thinks as a rising junior, that's not likely.
Our main concern is that because we are juniors, we won't get a spot, or we'll just get our hopes up and it won't work out, and then maybe our second plan won't even work out either. It's just very difficult to make housing plans.
Marr says most students feel pressured to search for housing as soon as the year begins, which makes the 6-month wait to apply for on-campus apartments stressful. She says that's why she decided to wait it out.
I thought it was a little bit ridiculous that I had been living in my new house for just a month, and people were already talking about where they're gonna live and who they were gonna live with for the next 2 years, junior and senior year. I just thought it was a little bit rushed.
For many students, deciding where to live comes down to the numbers. The Oaks and Mill Point cost $485 to $659 a month per person. And popular off-campus options like Oak Hill, Sheridan, and Trollinger can range from $395 to $540. But price isn't the only thing that can make up a student's mind. Location, layout, number of roommates, and extra amenities can make or break the ideal apartment.
I would feel a little bit secluded living far off campus. I think it's a very important factor, and I would pay a little bit higher of a price.
But for Marr, it's not as simple as picking the cheapest option.
Housing is just it can get messy sometimes.
And Marr says she hopes she can secure housing for the next 2 years, so she doesn't have to go through the process again. And if you're just joining us, we apologize for those technical difficulties. Now, you can see a full list of on- and off-campus price comparisons on our website at elonlocalnews.com. And if you are a rising junior, there's also the option of off-campus houses, which vary by price by landlord. And for those of you who are planning on living on campus, Phase 1 of the selection process begins February 26th.
Coming up on Elon Local News. One simulation is making students walk in someone else's shoes.
And one campus worker has a hidden talent.
This week in sports, many Elon teams saw their first action of 2014. We have all the highlights of all the action coming up.
Now let's turn to some news that you may have missed over the break. Elon lost one of its biggest fans at the beginning of January. Alumnus Reverend John Truitt died on January 4th. He was 81. You may recognize the name on the new Truitt Center on campus.
Something else you may have noticed on campus, this winter students are paying sales tax on food and meal plans. The new North Carolina tax code adds sales tax to movie tickets, concert tickets, and sporting events. Another thing that many of us are thinking about as we come back to campus is health care. Tomorrow marks the second week of the Affordable Care Act. A recent Gallup poll shows approval of the rating of the act is at an all-time low. 54% of the people polled disapprove of the Affordable Care Act. And when it comes to Elon, it may be hard to see any effects so far. We spoke to Dr. Jeanette Archinal, who told us that two major impacts are on preventative care and cost. Female students could receive discounted or even free contraceptives under the Affordable Care Act, and student insurance could cost less. But for more information about the ACA and its effects,
parents' health insurance plan if the parents want them to stay on it. And I think that's really where we see the biggest impact of affordable care for our students.
More information about the ACA and its effects on students can be found on our website, elonlocalnews.com. Wednesday is the last day to sign up for the coverage starting February 1st. Dr. Archinal says the biggest impact for many of us is the choice to stay on our parents' health care plan. Archinal says that the future of health care is still unknown.
And the president is making his way down to North Carolina this week. The White House press secretary announced President Obama will be speaking at NC State on Wednesday about the economy. The president visited North Carolina twice in 2013, and this will be his first visit in the new year. Now we have our Mackenzie Roberts live in the studio with this week's College Consumer.
Welcome back to Elon Local News. With winter in full force, you might be suffering from cabin fever. I'm here with some ideas that can get you out of your dorm without freezing your funds. First, if you're looking for a fun place to dance with your friends, try Arizona Pete's. The Country Music Saloon is in Greensboro and only a 30-minute drive from Elon. Prices to get in range from $5 and $12, and Thursday is college night with discounts for students. If you're into sports, the Carolina Hurricanes play less than an hour away from Elon at the PNC Arena in Raleigh. There are home games tonight, Saturday at 7 p.m., and Sunday at 5. Tickets can be pricey, but the New Canes College Rush program allows students to buy tickets between $10 and $25 1 hour before face-off. The Mad Platter is another great option for students interested in art. As inexpensive as $12, the studio is located on South Church Street, right here in Burlington. Lastly, if you need a new place to satisfy a sweet tooth, the Flour Bin Bakery might be worth the 5-minute drive from campus. With homemade cookies and cinnamon rolls, you can't go wrong. That's all for College Consumer. Back to you guys.
We apologize for technical difficulties and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Elon News. Our Rajat Awal is live in the studio with this week's sports update.
It's the first full week back from break for many Elon teams, and some began on the road. But first, we begin in Alumni Gym. The men's basketball team welcomed Citadel Saturday night. And look who's in the stands there. Coach Rich Grosky cheering on the Phoenix with his family. He obviously will take over the Phoenix next season on the football field. However, Elon would come out sluggish. Citadel with a nice three-pointer there to go up 18-11. It wasn't until the 3:30 mark in the first half when Elon got its first lead with this Sebastian Koch three-pointer to put Elon up 23-22. And from there, it was the Sebastian Koch show. Koch with 14 points in the first half, including four three-pointers. Phoenix would go into the half up 7. Credit to Citadel, though. They would hang around in the second half, but in the end, too much Phoenix. Jack Eisenberger hits Elon's 9th three-pointer of the game. Citadel head coach Chuck Drysdale clearly not happy there. Elon gets the victory 74-65. With the win, Elon improves to 2-1 in the Southern Conference and 9-8 overall. They will take the court on the 16th as they travel to conference rival Davidson. Speaking of Davidson, the women's basketball team was on the road Saturday dealing with the Wildcats. They fell in a very close game, 62-67. They'll try to bounce back tonight at Georgia Southern. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This weekend, the Carolina Panthers were against the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the National Football League's playoffs. Our Alex Rose sat down with some Elon students who considered... Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. Please bear with us. Despite the tough loss, the Panthers played its season since drafting former Heisman Trophy winner Cam Newton in 2010. After having the best record in the NFC Conference and earning a first-round bye, this was Cam Newton's first playoff appearance. The women's track and field team kicked off 2014 Saturday at the Wake Forest Invitational inside the JDL Fast Track Complex. Head coach Mark Elson had his team competing in a number of events throughout the day. The field events took place in the morning where Elon performed very well. Kimberlyn Holt with a nice throw there. She would finish in the top 10. The distance runners did not disappoint either, as Elon placed 3 out of the top 5 in the 3,000-meter event. The Phoenix will take the track again next weekend as they travel to Virginia for the Liberty Open. We stay indoors this time at the Andy Andrews Indoor Tennis Stadium. The Phoenix made their debut this weekend at the NC State Invitational. The men played William & Mary on Friday, doubles on Saturday, and finished up Sunday against the home state, the NC State Wolfpack. The men will officially open up their tennis season, of course, on January 17th in Durham against the 6th-ranked Duke Blue Devils. That's all we have for sports this week. A fun week of sports coming up, so make sure to follow us on Twitter for updates at Elon Local News. Meredith and Carly, back to you.
Thanks, Rajat. And that's one more thing that's joined our campus this week. Some new tunes are echoing through Mosley. And we'll be right back. The story's coming up. Stick with us. Elon's gym has seemed a bit smaller since coming back from break. The school's rec center has been packed with people trying to keep their New Year's resolutions. Our Ashlyn Vogelson took a look at the problem and how students can still work out.
The clinks and beeps of workout machines are ringing in 2014. At least they are if you've been to the gym lately or if you made a healthy goal of your own.
Go to the gym or exercise every day.
Not drink any soda and to play more tennis so I don't gain a freshman 15.
Do more push-ups every day.
Go to the gym every single day for this year.
To go to the gym 4 days a week. Do more yoga.
One of the most popular New Year's resolutions among Elon students is to stay fit and healthy. But the gym popularity is no surprise to senior Sarah Hopkins, who's worked there for 4 years.
A lot of groups of people will come in and comment to either employees or friends that they're coming to the gym with about how they're trying to kind of kickstart what they made as their goal for their New Year's resolution.
Hopkins says this is part of the gym's annual pattern.
At the beginning of the fall, right around the new year and before spring break, the gym tends to be pretty packed.
Going to the gym is popular right now, but it can be overwhelming. So some students, like John Steinberg, choose to stay in the comforts of their own dorm.
When I don't have time to go to the gym, I often work out in my dorm. That could be running the stairs here, or doing push-ups or sit-ups in my room. Just getting a good workout, good exercise.
According to NewRepublic.com, it is definitely hard to keep a New Year's resolution, but stay strong and you could be one of the 38% to achieve one. Ashlyn Vogel saying, Elon Local News.
And for more workout ideas to get fit outside the gym, visit our website at elonlocalnews.com.
And once again, we apologize for those technical difficulties, but it looks like we've got our video back, so enjoy the rest of the show. Now, if your resolution is to see a Broadway show without having to travel 600 miles, a popular Broadway musical is coming right here to Burlington. Our Brennan McDavid reports on the show.
Les Miserables is set to make a comeback on Broadway this March. But before that, it will debut at the Paramount Theater right here in Burlington.
When you are trying to keep your audience and build your audience, you have to do things that are going to push the group.
Which is why Stephanie Vaughn, Vice President of Production for the Gallery Players, decided to take on the award-winning musical.
From a production value perspective, it's incredibly large. From a talent and a demand on the cast, it requires a lot.
But Vaughn believes the Gallery Players have what it takes to pull it off. In fact, it was the group's talent that led her to join 20 years ago.
They were putting on some great shows, and I really admired that kind of tenacity and that kind of commitment.
The Paramount is only the second theater in North Carolina to host Les Mis. The show's rights belong to Music Theater International. The gallery had to request permission and pay $6,000 just to perform it. The Paramount Theater has been open for 16 years, and Les Mis is their biggest undertaking yet. They're 5 weeks out and have already sold 800 tickets.
I've run into some people who are what I call doubting Thomases, and they intend to buy a ticket to see if we can actually do this or if this becomes a gigantic train wreck.
John Glenn has been performing for the gallery since 1998. He plays Javert in the show.
I had to audition. There was no question about it. It was a show that it's on my bucket list of things to do.
The show's director, David Wright, agrees Les Mis is a once-in-a-lifetime production. And surprisingly, the hardest part is not directing it, but
keeping from jumping up on stage and wanting to be a part of it myself. This show is so moving.
Brennan McDavid, Elon Local News.
Advance sales have been so successful, they've added 3 more shows to the schedule. Les Mis opens February 21st and runs until March 2nd. Tickets are $15 for adults and $12 for students. You can call for a reservation at 336-222-8497.
Elon is getting ready for a play of its own. Much Ado About Nothing premieres at the end of this month and ends February 8th. Elon Local News will be following the rehearsals of the Shakespearean comedy all month long. We spoke to senior Jared Allen, who plays Don Pedro.
I think everyone does a really excellent job for their part, and then the people are so much fun to work with and be with on and off stage that it makes it a joy from the time I come in to the time that I go home.
He works at night with very different jobs on campus and off. Our Michelle Alfini reports.
Closes down, Kim Farmer's work begins. Farmer works the night shift at campus security, taking calls during the night. But when he's not at Elon, Farmer moves into the spotlight.
It's a beautiful life.
He's the lead singer of the 70s rock band Zachary Smith. The band performs a few times a year at street festivals and reunions.
And it's a lot of fun for us, to do it right, that is. We want to do it right.
Farmer and his high school friends reunited their band here in 2012 and still enjoy making music together.
We're not out trying to do it to make a living. Even one of our guys is retired. So, it's just fun for us.
Farmer loves music, and it's connected him to Elon for nearly 40 years. In 1974, he started taking bass lessons at the university with Dr. Malvin Artley, the founder of the Elon University Orchestra.
I would drive from Graham up to the university every Thursday and started learning the double bass, and he was a big inspiration to me.
Farmer eventually attended Elon to study music education and lives that dream today. By night, he works at campus security. By day, he teaches music. He gives regular lessons to 10 students from ages 7 to over 50.
It's nice to watch the lights come on and watch them grow with it, and try to lead them through the frustration of their hands hurting or can I do it, I'll never get this. And I'll say, yeah, you will if you hang with it.
Working at Elon and teaching lessons at home allows Farmer to be connected to both the music he loves and the school that taught it to him. Michelle Alfini, Elon Local News.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. Once again, we apologize for those technical difficulties, but for the stories you missed out on today and for more unique stories, please go to our website at elonlocalnews.com. And that's all we have for you tonight.